the Anthony Weinergate controversy. This is one of the funniest stories, and I like Anthony Weiner as a politician. We've covered him very positively when he goes on Fox News. He doesn't take any gruff from Megyn Kelly, for example. You know I'm a fan, Lewis. But I believe the story is that Anthony Weiner's Twitter account was linked to a lewd photo, which appears to be of a man's midsection wearing boxer briefs, appears to be aroused, I think is fair to say, Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis's close analysis has indicated that he believes the man in the picture is aroused. The photo was posted to the public image sharing site YFrog, and this was very controversial because right away, obviously, why is a congressman posting a picture of his genitals, admittedly covered up by boxer briefs? Anthony Weiner came out with a whole bunch of different press and scenarios surrounding this. And I have to tell you, Lewis, I agree with some of the points he's making and trying not to talk about this, but he is just saying more and more and more that really suggests to me it's a picture of Anthony Weiner.
Oh, no doubt. Of course it is.
You think the picture is of him?
Anyone who listens to him try to explain himself would realize that.
Let's start at the beginning. Let's start with him he's talking to Dana Bash at a press conference, and then he refers to Dana Bash's producer as this jackass. This is the first bit of tape that I want to play for you. And again, I see some of the points Anthony Weiner is making here, and they're valid, but overall, I'm not buying much of this at all, Lewis.
So can you answer
this is
even
now,
the most basic question?
This is now day 3. You have statements that my office has put out.
But they don't answer the questions.
There are statements that my office has put out. And there are going to be people who are going to want, look, this is the tactic. The guy in the back of the room who's throwing the pie or yelling out the insult wants that to be the conversation.
But you are the one who said
Dana,
that it was hacked, that you were hacked. And that's a potential
Dana, I'm going to have to ask that we follow some rules here. And one of them is going to be U.S. questions. I do the answers. That seem reasonable?
I'd love to get an answer.
That would be reasonable, right? You do the questions.
That
would be reasonable. You do the questions. I do the answers, and this jackass interrupts me. How about that as the new rule of the game?
All right, so there he goes, calling the CNN producer a jackass. Maybe not the best way to go, but the point he's making is good, which is if you're at a public speaking event and you're there to talk about a certain issue, and someone throws a pie from the back of the room, and then all everybody wants to hear about for your 2-hour speech is about the pie, at some point, you have to cut it off, Lewis. You're there to talk about something else. So far, I can't disagree with him, right?
Right.
Do you think this is a valid point? He can't just talk indefinitely, ad nauseum, about a picture of his penis on YFrog.
100% valid.
Natan wants to get in here.
Yeah, you didn't realize that you made another sexual innuendo, just like Anthony Weiner is doing with the cut it off just now.
Well, we'll get... Right. Okay. So I believe this was all a good point. Then he does an interview. He sits down with MSNBC's Luke Russert, okay? Listen very carefully, because I listened to this a few times. This is the big, I can't say with certitude that the picture is not of me. So first of all, this indicates what, Lewis? That he knows... That
it might be a picture of him.
And the only way that's possible is by tacitly admitting that there are pictures of him in his boxer briefs, because otherwise you could say... In other words, I can say with certitude that this picture over my shoulder is not of me. You know why? Because I've never been wearing that where there was a camera. So I know for sure, with certitude, you hear what I'm saying,
I hear,
Lewis,
yeah,
that this picture is not of me. The fact that Anthony Weiner can't say that means there are pictures of him in his boxer briefs.
With a chubby.
Apparently aroused. So let's take a listen to the interview and listen very closely, because he's dropping in an incredible amount of sexual innuendo here without
unintentionally.
Without even realizing it. You couldn't write this.
Didn't send that picture out.
But that's not a picture of you?
You know, I can't say with certitude. My system was hacked. Pictures can be manipulated. Pictures can be dropped in and inserted. One of the reasons that I've asked a firm that includes an internet security arm...
Okay, so listen to what he's saying here. He is saying that he can't say with certitude. Pictures, he's talking about manipulation, insertion, and dropping in.
And dealing with a firm.
He also has had firm contact. In other words, he is in touch with a firm. And the other funny thing is he says his entire system was apparently hacked.
Yeah, like, I think it's more of a metaphorical system, like the system with which he sends pictures of his penis.
Exactly.
Probably, right?
The system Anthony Weiner uses to take and send pictures of his penis...
It got messed up.
...has been hacked. Now, I actually believe Anthony Weiner that he didn't purposely send this picture. I think what may have
Oh,
happened
come
here,
on. It's not like the thing was on his phone so he could look at it himself.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Forensic image analysts have indicated that the picture actually may have been taken with a different camera phone than what he normally uses. So there's a chance here that this was not his doing. I'm just throwing out a possibility that hasn't been mentioned, which would fall under the letter of what he's saying, but not the spirit, is that he meant to send this as a direct message to someone on Twitter, and he accidentally tweeted it out publicly. That's what I think may have happened here. In other words, he's essentially admitting the picture is of him, or that at least these pictures indistinguishable from this one exist of him.
Right.
That's what we're hearing.
Right.
And then again, listen to the sexual innuendo. If you're trying to get people to stop thinking about penis pictures of you, don't start using the words manipulate and insert.
And firm.
Certitude. My system was hacked. Pictures can be manipulated. Pictures can be dropped in and inserted. One of the reasons that I've asked a firm that includes an internet security arm is to take...
Amazing. If you told someone that you were going to play them a 15-second clip of someone trying to cease connections with a penis picture, and that the 15-second explanation included the words manipulate, drop in, insert, and firm, I think most people would say it's probably not that good of an explanation.
No.
Is that fair to say?
But a funny one.
But a funny one. And, you know, the other thing is, I was just thinking hypothetically, if we're going to assume that he's going to be evasive or lie, what other things could he have just made up? I think he should have said, you know, this happened when I was sleepwalking.
Mm-hmm.
I was on an Ambien trip, and I don't know anything, like one of the Kennedys used once.
I was roofied.
Or my son was messing around with my camera phone, and it just, I don't know. It was all just an accident.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if he has a son, by the way. Honestly, even not having a son, it's still a pretty good explanation. He should. I would rather him lie about having a son, honestly.
Honestly, like, if his son took that picture, it's almost worse.
Right.
Well, that does bring up a lot of questions.
What's that, Daddy?
Yeah, and I don't even know if Anthony Weiner has a son. But
I think it's safe to say that he probably has a wiener. And that might be it right there.
So again, he can't say with certitude. The other question that hasn't been asked is, and now we're really getting into it, do you own a pair of boxer briefs like this? Do you recognize this pair of underwear?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure there's a whole line of questioning we could use to, if there are questions he was willing to answer that could reveal the truth here. But
my last thought on this, Lewis, is at this point, politicians are so commonly sending out pictures or inappropriate instant messages to people that are it either reveals that they may be straying from their wife, or that they're in contact with people that are too young for them, or that they've been living a life where they criticize homosexuality while actually being gay. You would think that since this is so common among politicians, that by now, when you get into Congress, there would just be a system in place for you to send penis pictures and inappropriate instant messages that's not going to be intercepted. In other words, maybe
like the day you're sworn in, they hand you like a pamphlet that explains in detail how to go about doing things like this.
You would think that this is so common that politicians would have figured out how to keep penis pictures and inappropriate texts to pages that are working for you and that the House of Representatives under wraps in a better way. But apparently we're not there yet.
They just have so much going on in their lives and their heads that they cannot keep track of things like this.
I guess so. And what's that, Natan?
I just said in both of their heads, they have a lot going on.
Yeah.